So welcome back to my channel. Today I have got to get ready in a pinch because I am leaving in less than an hour. We are going to do this full, quick, but effective makeup look that you can wear day to night. I'm heavily inspired by the colors I'm wearing in my outfit. Without further hesitation, let's get into creating this simple, easy look that you can wear anywhere. Getting started, I'm gonna apply another layer of lip oil. This is the NYX Fat Lip Drip Oil in the shade Supermodel. It's a really beautiful warm pink that matches my cardigan, and it has a little bit of a shimmer to it. And when I say warm, the undertone is more cool tone, but when you apply it, it gives warmth to the complexion. Warming color that is not necessarily a warm golden undertone. For every day, just throw it on and go. I've really been loving the L'Oreal Age Perfect 4-in-1 Tinted Balm. The shade I am using is 20 Fair Pale. Using my IT Cosmetics brush, I tend to work with the pot in one hand and my brush in the other hand. I don't know what has been going on the last 2-3 weeks. It just feels like there is something going on every single day. I'm working, I have something to do with friends, dinner with my husband, or just something is going on in post 2020. I am not used to that at all. It just feels like pre-2020 where there was something to do all the time between work, school, social events. Then 2020, for the most of us, we were home for what felt like 2 years. And then during that 2-year period, I started working from home. And now it's just like life is back in full swing. It feels like there's more to do than ever before. I feel like I'm getting very overwhelmed with just the amount of things to do. And I will tell you what, I am getting a lot faster with makeup because pre-2020, when I was working every single day, I could get my face done in about 15 to 20 minutes most days. During 2020, 2021, when there was fewer things to do, most everything was done via Skype or Zoom, I was taking a lot longer. I was getting more experimental. I was getting more in tune with perfecting the base. Taking forever. I mean, it could take me up to 2 hours to do everything. I don't have 2 hours to get ready. There's some days where I have to get ready for work in the morning, and then at night we have dinner, a party, or something to go to. My work makeup, I need to either amp it up, or if it's been a long day, then I will want to take a secondary shower, wash everything off, redo everything. There has been a lot of makeup application and having to figure out how to create the most impact for the effect I want with the time I have. So something I've been doing a lot lately is putting down my concealer and taking a little bit of color corrector and placing it just between where I'm applying my concealer. That way I get a little bit of color correction, even though I have been in the process of doing IPL to remove my facial hair. There is still hair growing through. I still get shadowing, and my skin does not tolerate frequent shaving. That's why before this whole journey, I had embraced facial hair. Now, facial hair really doesn't line up with my personal goals, so I'm shaving every day, some days twice a day, and my skin reacts so poorly to frequent shaving. Previous shade I used was the Huda Beauty FauxFilter color corrector in Cherry Blossom. Now I'm using a little bit of pink Pomelo. This is a little bit warmer. This will help to knock back some of the blue shadowing. This shade on its own, I find a little difficult for me to work with during the day because it is so orange, but for evening, it's a little bit easier to work with. And also applying it over base makeup allows me to be a little bit more flexible with how much I need to apply. Also, when I apply it at the same time as my concealer, I can blend out like I did here and then pull over with my skin tone concealer to just neutralize that color corrector. For my under eyes, I almost dot in, blend out my concealer first, then I will go over with the little bit of color corrector I applied in the middle. What I'm doing is I'm blending out my concealer for the areas I want it. If I need to brighten the area, I will blend the concealer last because that is a skin brightening shade. If it's an area I don't want to be extremely bright, then I will start blending my concealer first and then blend the color corrector in. And for my forehead, I don't like to apply too much product because by the time, if I'm in a time crunch, I've already got my hair done, I don't want to have to worry about getting anything in the lace, getting anything in the side of the hair. So then I will just very quickly do the base makeup, and I like to have a dry sponge on hand. This is the Real Techniques matte air matte sponge. I will quickly tap over, blend, 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 pull down, smooth everything out. Now I like to quickly look over to see if there's anything else I want to conceal. I think we're good to go. MAC Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation in C15, and I'm going to use my Real Techniques powder brush. This is RT201 without any type of hesitation, just start stamping all over my complexion. Here in Canada, we are fully into autumn, fall, whatever you like to call it. It is getting colder. Our daily highs have been averaging between like 14 and 15 Celsius, which for me is like the perfect daytime temperature. I could have like a 3/4 sleeve or even a long sleeve, roll the sleeve up, or I can wear like a sleeveless top with a sweater over it. I love being able to layer and just playing with all the different things. Layering makes me so happy. I haven't really made any fall-esque plans other than in a couple weeks we are doing a cabin trip, so almost like getting a little cottage for the weekend with a couple friends. I'm so excited. All of our friends are going for hikes and things like that, and something about me, I love cooking for groups of people. One day everyone's planning a group, I will be at the cabin by myself, and my plan is to cook a beautiful meal, all of my sides, nice dessert, and just when everyone gets home, gets their showers after the hike, I can feed them and just take care of people. I'm so excited. We've got a little WhatsApp group going, and people are trying to figure out who's gonna cook what. And I'm like, if you want me to cook everything, I am more than happy to cook everything. Just let me know what you want. And I'm just so excited to have a group of people to take care of. Normally it's just me taking care of myself and my husband, but now I get to cook for a whole group of people, and that makes me so excited. Before I turned the camera on, I had already done my skincare routine and primed. It's evening. I'm not wearing a sunscreen because there's no sun out right now. For my primer, I used what I have left of my Hourglass Vanish Airbrush primer. I thought I finished it because the pump wasn't pumping anymore. So I took the lid off, took a little spatula, and I got out a lot of product. I'm glad I didn't just throw it away because I would have been wasting so much product. Recently, I was on Yes Style and I saw rom&nd had released some new products since I was last shopping. I purchased one of the new rom&nd Better Than Eyeshadow palettes. This is in number 13, Odd Breeze Garden. This is a really beautiful palette. This would be the perfect eyeshadow palette for a soft muted summer. Soft muted summer isn't necessarily the colors I go for all the time, but you can't go wrong with a beautiful, cool, neutral palette. I have been using this palette for the last couple days, and I have been doing the most slap and dash makeup and absolutely loving it. So the two shades I'm mixing together are the shade Mauve Moment and Grayish Mood, and I just tap my brush back and forth, and then here on the outer corner using my BK Beauty A503, roughly stamping in the outer corner of my eye. I love doing this technique with my K-Beauty eyeshadows because they are quite sheer. You are not going to get a lot of full pigment like you would in a Natasha Denona or Pat McGrath palette. And using a big fluffy brush, I can just stamp this haze of muted color on the outer corner of my eyes. And once I kind of have this mess of color applied, I will take my brush, and I have a little microfiber towel on hand. Wipe off any of that product lingering in the bristles, and then I can go through, buff, and diffuse. I like to do a mix of buffing circles, working my way back and forth. I have a large mirror behind my camera. As always, I like to look as far away as I can, because if I have my mirror here, I'm gonna hyper focus on the shape and really focus on getting the perfect blend of color. But if I'm at a conversational length, this side over here doesn't look bad, but we are going to just blend it out back and forth, back and forth. I like to look straight ahead in my mirror with my eye relaxed. I do have a habit, once I start blending, I will raise my brow a bit, but try to keep your eye relaxed. Feather the shade where you want it. Now, when I'm doing a quick eye, I go backwards. Normally, I like to work my way from light to dark. When I'm in a hurry, I put the darkest shade on first, then I will work my way to the lightest shade. Using the same brush, I'm going to use the Shimmery Mauve Vintage Heather, which is a shimmery mauve, and I'm going to use this right over the ball of my eye. This is not going to be too different from my skin tone, where I applied whatever was left of my powder foundation over my eyelids. It neutralized, but this is almost going to act like an in-between shade between my skin tone and the color of my cardigan. Now I'm going to use the shimmer shade called Odd Glint. Using my ring finger, I'm going to press to the inner corner and pull across. And I'm going to do 2 layers just to give a little impact. When I place my finger down, this is where most of the pigment is going to adhere to my eyelid. And when I pull, my finger will naturally lift as it goes over the round of the eye, and that will give me my lift off. So that way we're getting a taper of color. We are trying to create the most impact with the minimal amount of time and effort. So that way we have a little bit of shimmer. We're going from light to dark, so we have a very subtle daytime or easy evening smoky eye. Sephora Collection Colorful Contour Eye Pencil 33 Love Affair. I'm not going to make a precise eyeliner. You know that's not my normal style. I am just going to take this pencil, lay it outside, gently kind of stamp and pull across my lash line. And then I have a little Morphe M165. This is just a little angled liner brush, and I am going to press and pull across. So that way we're gonna get a nice smudgy line, and we're gonna go back in a minute and finesse it a little bit more, but I'm gonna line the other eye. So again, just press, pull, press, pull. This evening is way too close to how I normally do things, because for me, I kind of make my decisions in the moment as far as getting ready. Right before I press the on button to my camera, I repainted my nails, and I'm using the shade from Essie called Angora Cardi. My nails might still be damp. I used my favorite top coat. This is the Sesh Feet Quick Dry Top Coat. My nails should be dry, but they might still be a little damp. I'm gonna apply just a little bit more liner onto my left eye and then smudge. BK A502. I'm gonna use this just to smudge over one more time. Smudge, smudge, smudge. Using a little bit of my Maybelline Sky High. This is in the brown shade. I'm gonna apply a quick thin coat of mascara to both eyes. So when I'm applying in a rush, I like to tilt my chin up, look down into mirror. That way I'm stretching my eyelid. When I pull the wand up and through, it's gonna be further away from my eyelid. So that's gonna help me avoid some of the transfer onto my eyelid. So that way, once I get my mascara on, I don't have to put too much worry in going and getting little specks off my eyelids. For me, I normally still have to go in and get some off, but doing this little tip of tilting the chin up, looking down into the mirror allows me to just put a thin coat of mascara on. And once we get the coat of mascara on, it is going to take away from any of that smudginess of the eyeliner. The eyeliner, if it's not perfect, it's okay. We are creating a backing, because for this smoky eye, even though we went from dark to light, we're going to still have dark to light, with the lightest being up here at the brow bone and the darkest being down here at the lash line. So we're almost doing a double ombre. So dark, medium, light, dark, medium, light. We can really further soften out this effect with a lash. I don't think I've ever shared applying lashes on camera, but I have been using these Ardell Naked Lashes. This is the style number 421. I am not someone who loves putting lashes all the way across, just because I don't have the patience, especially right now when I need to get out of the door. So what I've done is I've taken one lash and I've cut it in half. Outer half, where it is shorter on the outer corner, longer on on the inside, I will take that, put the shorter portion on the outer half, and that way I have the longer part in the middle because I want my eye to look vertically taller instead of flicked out, because my eyes are a little bit more narrow and tapered on the corners, and I want my eye to look visually taller. So I want the longest lash in the middle of my eye, and I have been loving the Velour Lash Glue. It is a clear lash glue that you can just wipe on. You can give it a moment. Normally I find for me, if I apply the glue, brush it on thinly, let it dry for just a second, using the root of my lash where I apply the mascara, I'm gonna let that be my anchor and set my lash right on top. I like to get it roughly in the position that I want it to be. Then I will go back to the other side. The lash glue is still gonna be a little tacky. Don't worry. We are just gonna set it in place, let it dry. Other half of our single eyelash we've cut in half, and repeat the same steps. Before I make any final adjustments and put a little bit more mascara on to merge these lashes with my other lashes, I'm gonna quickly look at and see if I need to adjust the position. I wanna move this one slightly more to the center, so I'm just gonna very easily nudge that over, and then I like to press the lashes down and just let them dry fully in the position I want them to be. Before I go through fuse them, I'm gonna move on, finish off my complexion makeup. For days like this, when I've evened out my skin tone, I like to minimize the steps I need to apply. I'm gonna use a highlighting brush. This is one of the rom&nd Spring Fever Better Than Cheek blushers. This is in shade S02. This is from the same collection as the eyeshadow palette. BK Beauty A507 angled blush brush. I'm gonna apply this high up on the cheekbone. With this shade, it is a little bit more sheer, so I like to apply 2 layers, a little bit on my nose, a little bit on my chin. Then just to make sure everything's tidy, I'm gonna take my Charlotte Tilbury Powder and Sculpt brush, and I'm gonna brighten up, add a little bit more coverage here in the inner corner of my eye, and also go right under my blush, just to make sure everything's in place. And now I'm gonna use a blush with a little bit more color payoff. Clinique Blushing Blush Powder Blush, 114 Iced Lotus. Unpopular take. I'm gonna actually be using the little brush that comes in the compact. I like to use this to buff on and then blend in. We are not going for the most flawless application of blusher. We are applying a thin wash. Then I like to use my powder foundation brush and blend over and soften and blend everything in. rom&nd Glasting Color Gloss. This is in shade 01 Peony Ballet. I have been absolutely in love with this gloss formula. It has a nice medium pigment color and it hangs on for quite a while. Today, applying it over top of my lip oil, it's not gonna last as long as it would if I applied on top of a dry lip, but it is going to hang on decently well. The little front tendrils, just give them a little bit of a flip, a little bit of a curl. I'm gonna put a little bit of something through my brows. This is my favorite e.l.f. Wow Brow. I use the shade Taupe. Apply another pinch of mascara, focusing here on the inner corner just to merge the start of my lash with the start of the false lash. And something I will do is I will drag first few lashes towards the inner corner just to kind of further tie them into my natural lash. Last thing we have to do is apply fragrance. I'm not sure how many people are going to be around and I don't want to wear a fragrance that is too strong. So I'm going to use Glossier U and apply with abandon. That is going to conclude my quick, easy going out, whether it's to work, dinner, party. I'm put together, I feel good, I feel like I look good. I might change my hair clip in the back to something less utilitarian, but other than that, we are good to go. I love how this came together and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what type of things you would like to see coming up in the future, and until we see each other again, I hope you're taking care of yourself wherever it is you are in the world. Bye, y'all.